What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Pip. Want to do a quick video on how to set up trend lines, and then I'm going to do another following video on setting up Fibonacci. You can see I have a few trend lines already set up. These are off the day chart here, and very simply, I just use this ray right here. So you have your trend line, and you have the ray. So I use the ray, right, and I'll show you how I set this up. So we'll get rid of this line here, and all we do is we pick this high, and then we go all the way over to this next high here. Now you could also additionally, this is also kind of the next high right here, and you can see that there is a rejection off of this point. So this absolutely could be the trend line that you use, and then you can set up another one coming up this way. I wanted a kind of a clean zone. We can use this peak going up this way, right? But I wanted a clean zone. This provided me a really nice rectangular area. As you can see right here, from the bottom here, we use this bottom, give us a nice rectangle. And then I just threw one in the middle. You'll see swing traders or scalpers sometimes use this method where you'll get a zone, right? So it hits here, and then you trade back down to here, and then same thing here. It hits here, you trade back up to the middle. So you'll see swing traders sometimes do that. This middle line isn't the best rejection point. You can see that there's some hits off of it where it is rejecting off of that golden line there, right here, right? But you can see that there's really easy breakthroughs, right? Not a solid rejection point. We have very quick, easy breakthroughs, just kind of going back and forth through this zone. But I will keep it there because nonetheless, there is tons of support and resistance in this area just above and below it. So that's the first thing, just taking the tops, picking the other top, taking the bottom, picking another low, and then going down into the 1 and 4 hour. Start seeing now these smaller zones right here, and we're going to start drawing trend lines down through this way. So I have, boom, you can see contact, and we're going to make these red. I like to make the ones red on top. I keep these gold just so as a reminder that these are the major day trend lines, and or going back weeks. So we have this first one here, red contact, and these big, I normally keep them bigger, 4 point, these are 3 points. And then we also have one right in this area right here. Now I could absolutely draw this from here to here, or even kind of moving in this direction, but I'm not really liking, it doesn't really feel like a strong trend line. I see the actual trend just right here on the smaller section. You can see boom, 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 boom. And we'll make this kind of a 2-point trend line here just because it's a newer trend. And then also right on the top, this top, that top, boom, boom. And now we're going to check these on the lower time frame. I generally use the 15-minute and 1 minute to actually trade on. I know a lot of times people use the 1 and 5, but this is what I have found to work best for my trading style. I feel like I get more information off the a difference in information off the 15 and the 1 minute, where I feel like the same is, I kind of get the same info on the 1 and 5. So so now we have a nice little squeeze zone kind of happening right here, and that's the basic setup for these trend lines. You can now go down to the 1 minute, okay, and this is where I generally find my entries on. And let's go ahead and make sure that this line here is touching that point. And I want to make sure that this line here, we're lined up over here, and that should be good for now. Now we can do another one from this point to this point. This is also going to be blue. Okay, and definitely right in here, you can see that there is a small trend kind of happening right in this zone, just from these tops. Boom. So now with these trend lines, what you would be doing is looking for a breakout from either going north or south from this point. It'll probably continue squeezing into this area until it chokes out and breaks through one of these lines. And that is the trend line setup. Very simple, easy concept, easy to follow, and good to find, what locations on where price will probably go on bouncing, right? If it breaks through this area, we're probably going to come make contact over here. You can see that there's also sideways, there's support over here, things like that. And then breaking this area, we'll probably get some resistance off of this line later on. Also, these will continue following sometimes downwards against the top line. It'll start kind of following downwards this way. It could continue. Sometimes they move faster. Sometimes it's a slow ride into the next area. And that's it. That's the trend lines. Watch the next video for the Fibonacci and how we coordinate that with the trend lines. Thanks, guys.